Hello and welcome. This is Dr. Martina Carroll-Garrison here today, otherwise known as Dr. Tina. I am the owner of the MCG Consulting Group, uh, built around my name, Martina Carroll-Garrison, the MCG Consulting Group. My purpose for being, my raison d'etre, is in my tagline. I am all about shaping your future at work. You can find out more about the MCG Consulting Group at mcgconsultinggroup.com. So, what's today's game plan? I invited you to join me today for a free webinar on the 3 steps to building better people skills. I invited you to a free training on the 3 steps for building better people skills. These 3 steps will help you resolve your pain, anxiety, and stress-filled work life as a result of underdeveloped or ineffective interpersonal skills. This is my mugshot here, and I am a International Coach Federation certified coach. I'm at the PCC level, professional certified coach level. So let's begin this conversation. I invited you to learn about the 3 steps, the 3 modules, the 3 things that you need to do to improve your people skills, to rebuild or to build your interpersonal skills. Let me first ask you to ask yourself honestly, are your poor people skills holding you back professionally? Are your poor people skills holding you back professionally? I suspect that you believe on some level that they are, because that's typically why people join in for this free training, to explore options to improve their people skills. Most people realize their people skills are subpar or less than effective when they see others around them moving ahead faster professionally, and it all boils down to ineffective interpersonal skills, poor people skills. You are in the right place today if you are frustrated by difficult interpersonal relationships, if you are currently struggling with poor people skills, if you are experiencing pain, anxiety, or stress in your work life, and if you are committed to trying to figure this out on your own, then you're absolutely in the right place, because this free webinar will give you the 3 overarching steps you need to take towards improving your interpersonal skills, towards building better people skills. You're in the right place today if you are frustrated because you can't figure out how to connect with your colleagues. If you feel you are missing something about how to develop interpersonal relationships, if you are frustrated because others are moving ahead and they're more successful than you, even though you work harder, and especially if you are frustrated because others are more influential than you, even though you know you're smarter. Here is what you will learn today by checking in with us. You are going to learn a very specific, proven 3-step process to build better people skills and remove pain, stress, and anxiety from your work life, even if you work with really difficult people. You're going to learn about the secret to being likable and instantly building rapport. You are going to learn my reflection formula, a step-by-step exercise so that you can quickly capture new tips and information and embed each piece of information within your mental muscle memory towards building your people skills. Here's also what you learned today simply by checking in with us. You are going to learn the list of interpersonal topics you need to explore and why, and the answer may surprise you. I'll also explain the slightly surprising truth about why others are getting promoted ahead of you, even though you are smarter and you work harder. You're going to learn about the 5 biggest mistakes that you are making. Heck, even I've made them, that will kill your career and what to do about it instead. One thing is for certain, during this webinar today, there is nothing for sale on this webinar. I want to stress this. There is nothing for sale on this webinar. But I do have 3 special gifts for you at the end of our journey here together. So hang in there. It's about 70, maybe 80 minutes. Hang in there, and I have 3 special gifts for you at the end of this webinar. Here's what you will receive for hanging in there today. 2 fun and super useful gifts just for hanging in. You are going to get a copy of today's PowerPoint presentation, and you are going to get a copy of the 3 proven steps that you need to take to improve your people skills and end the pain, anxiety, and stress in your work life. These 2 documents are separate and distinct from each other. And as a third gift, you are also going to receive a special invitation to a free 90-minute strategy session, a one-on-one, just you and me, for free, 90 minutes to explore what you need to do specifically to work through developing better people skills. So, a little bit about me. I went through all my Facebook stuff, trying to capture the essence of who I am, and the pictures are very varied. So I've distilled it into 3 pieces, really. I'm all about family. I'm all about friends. I'm kind of interested in food, cooking, entertaining, eating it. And it seems I'm all about the dogs. I'd say 50% of the pictures I have captured in my life over the past several years are dogs, 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 dogs. My dogs, other people's dogs, strangers' dogs. Even when I'm traveling, and I do travel a lot, I'm all about the dogs. At this moment, I am dog parent to Bella, the Basset Hound, and she features regularly in a lot of my work. So that's just a little bit about who I am. Travel, food, family, friends, travel, educating, being educated, and for peace and relaxation, dogs and the outdoors. So I'm a dog person, can't deny it. Love dogs. Sometimes I think I like dogs more than I like people, but I'm not sure that's true, but there it is. So that's a little bit about who I am and a quick story of my life. So I started out as an engineer. I was born and raised in Ireland. Right after college in the 80s, I went to work in Frankfurt, Germany. I ended up working for the US Army. Married a soldier, went to the States, have worked back in Europe again. I've worked in Germany twice. I've worked in Belgium on different assignments. I was a civilian with Department of the Army for many, 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 many years, moving around the United States. And I ended my federal career working for the Federal Bureau of Investigation. So that's a quick look at my federal career before I launched the MCG Consulting Group and hung up my shingle as an executive leadership coach. But one naturally led into the other. So how did I discover this system, this 3-step system? Well, through a lot of pain, because most great discoveries come out of pain. Here I was in my 20s. I was phenomenal. I was a phenomenal as an engineer, as a project manager, and then as a program manager. In my early 30s, unfortunately, I realized that the accolades stopped coming towards me. It seems my stellar career trajectory had stalled, and I found myself in constant disagreement with peers and colleagues. My bosses, who once thought I was phenomenal, started to distance themselves from me. I had this great boss who, as a mentor, told me I needed to travel in that journey into self. I lacked self awareness. Fortunately, the army was vested in my development and sent me to weeks and weeks and weeks of training and professional development. And through that process, I discovered that unless I knew where I was and how I was, I couldn't make improvements in myself and become the influential executive that I was destined to become. So I discovered this system and improvements to the system over time as a result of limitations in my own behavior and in my own interpersonal skills. Okay, my story. Look, I worked for the Army for many years as an engineer. In 2002, I made that leap from technical level to executive level. And I would say this was the first time I was truly in the people business in 2002. Basically, I found out that I had no idea what I was doing. I struggled with the people side of things. However, true to form, the Army invested in me again, and I started taking a lot of courses again in the people skills. Um, Kept pursuing my learning interests, and in 2006 I completed my first master's, and in 2007 I completed a second master's and found that I was academically on a roll. So also in 2007 I began a doctorate degree in leadership and management, and having taken another people assignment overseas, I was able to find direct application for my studies in leadership and management while I was assigned overseas, again in the people business. In 2010, I transferred to the FBI and I used my doctoral studies heavily, but I realized I wanted to know more about this people thing. And simultaneous with my FBI assignment, I also trained as an executive leadership coach in 2012 at Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. And I also completed my doctorate in leadership and management in 2012. So that was a very busy year for me, but I was on a roll in terms of understanding the people aspect of our work life. I started formally coaching in 2013, but it turns out I had always been a coach. As an executive, I was the coach in resident. I was coaching my subordinates, I was coaching my peers, and in many times instances I was coaching my manager, because certainly we all manage up. But in 2013, I formally became a coach. I took early retirement and hung up my shingle as an executive coach and corporate trainer. And through my one on one coaching assignments and my group coaching and training assignments, I started to observe a pattern. And that pattern was poor people skills were behind most workplace issues, most interpersonal failings, most problem employees, most everything that wasn't good. If we peeled back the onion, I was able to observe that poor people skills was the failing in 9 out of 10 relationships. So at that point, I started doing a lot of research. I started doing a lot of interviews and observations in conjunction with my coaching and mentoring, and I uncovered the truth as I was able to discern it at the time. And we see truth based on the preparedness process that we've gone through. And I had completed my doctorate and my 2 masters and the coaching program and lots of other professional development. And it just got clearer and clearer and clearer for me. That was that poor people skills underscored most of our work life's ailments. I would say there were hundreds of hours of coaching engagements, thousands of hours of research and conversations. I tapped into the secrets of successful leaders and managers, and I gleaned insight from the distasteful, poor secrets of poor managers. So I was able to look at what was good and see why those executives were good and great. And I was able to look at what wasn't good and understand what wasn't working for those executives in my global clientele base. I was focused on the issue like a crazy person. I wrote a handful of books. I wrote over 80, 90 articles for LinkedIn. And over and over and over and over again, it was the people skills, the people skills, the people skills kept popping up. I took the best of what I learned. I implemented, tweaked, tested, and put my own spin on it. I applied my doctoral research techniques. Mind you, I recognize I was standing on the shoulders of giants. Certainly, the many books that I read, the leadership articles that I reviewed, this wasn't Dr. Tina. This was just Dr. Tina packaging the brilliance of many, many people who had gone before me. But with the realization that the people skills part of our professional existence was the greatest source of pain, anxiety, and stress, success began to happen for my coaching practice and my coaching clients. While I continued to serve as an executive leadership coach to leaders, managers, and high performers across many different industries, I started to bring my focused attention to helping clients bridge the gap from where they were or where they are to where they want to be in terms of effective interpersonal in terms of effective interpersonal skills. I'm going to share with you 3 great success stories. These are anonymous, no pictures, no names, just avatars, simply because for me the coaching relationship is private and it is confidential. And I would never divulge any personal details about any of my clients. So rest assured, I will never divulge anything about you or your participation in this free webinar. Or if you were ever to engage me as your executive coach, that information stays with me. Our conversations are never shared. So, Jim, he's a great engineer. He was a great client. It's a success story. Jim came to me, he was looking for help with his leadership technique and time management skills. Through a process of discovery, we found out that Jim had abysmal, really, really bad interpersonal skills. And like a lot of smart people, like a lot of smart engineers, Jim also suffered from being the smartest guy in the room syndrome. Together, we co-created a pathway and a new foundation for his people skills. As a coach, I held him accountable as he upskilled. Jim reinforced his learning through self-reflection and awareness of others. Jim's success story is phenomenal, and Jim realized his potential. Jim got promoted shortly after we completed our coaching relationship. Jim became comfortable with being personable, even though it was not his primary modus operandus. Jim's team began to trust him. Jim doesn't micromanage anymore. He shares and delegates. And he has discovered more time for himself and his family because he's sharing and delegating. And others on his team have stepped up and they're doing their jobs. This addressed what he thought was a failing in his leadership. The additional plus for Jim, which I find most gratifying, is some months after we finished the coaching relationship, his wife sent me an email expressing her joy in Jim's new set of behaviors at home because of the lack of stress he was bringing home from work every day. So when Jim went through this process of discovering what his failings were, like an engineer, he just methodically worked through the issues that needed to be worked through, and other people around him enjoyed the new and improved Jim. Jane, another great client, was an IT professional, and her success story is not unlike Jim's. Although she came to the coaching relationship looking for help with team management and the specifics of how to hold others accountable, Again, we found out that she had poor people skills and suffered from being considered aloof and unfriendly by her peers, colleagues, and subordinates. Together, we co created a pathway and helped Jane build a new foundation for effective people skills. I helped her work through bad behaviors as she upskilled, and I helped her to reinforce her learning through self reflection and being mindful. Of course, Jane's success story continued and continues. She developed a whole new work life persona. She became comfortable with being personable, not just being seen to be personable. She actually became comfortable with being personable. Her team trusts her and no longer considers her aloof or unfriendly, based on the 360 feedback that she's undergone recently. Jane has also discovered that she can be an effective manager and not experience interpersonal stress as she holds her team accountable for doing their jobs. The additional plus for Jane is that she has now emerged as the go to person for other team managers and other team members in her organization who are encountering performance issues, and she helps them work through managing their accountability issues. Jack. Every organization has a Jack. Jack was a science professional that I worked with. His success story. He had been informed in no uncertain terms during his 360 evaluation that he was considered aloof and unfriendly, and other terms of that nature. He wanted help with becoming not that person because he didn't feel he was that person in his heart of hearts. That was not his intention. Jack's boss directed him to get coaching, fix the problem, or else. So he was doubly motivated to be there. So, starting from scratch, we built a new foundation for effective people skills for Jack. I helped him work through specific bad behaviors as he upskilled, and he reinforced his learning through self reflection and being mindful. Jack's story continued. He developed a work life skill set that resembled being personable and friendly. Now, mind you, he did not come naturally to the experience of being personable. However, his team no longer considers him unfriendly, so he is committed to staying the course. He discovered that these learned skills, and Jack will use the comma bracket symbol when he puts his hands up, it talks about learned people skills, but he has discovered that these skills get better with practice, and he commits to them daily. An additional plus, while Jack has committed to sharing his coaching experience with fellow STEM professionals because he recognizes that others also endure poor people skills. It helps him to reinforce his own learning, to share his experience, especially as he understands their pain and how poor people skills can impact the whole team. So fast forward. My professional life today is all about helping clients and changing lives as an executive coach, that specializes in building better people skills. My current clients today are two-tier federal clients and private corporate clients. FBI, HUD, Department of Housing and Urban Development, the U.S. Army, the Defense Logistics Agency, and the Armed Forces Retirement Home. My corporate clients, private clients, again, anonymity here, they are spread across a multitude of engineering and IT sector industries, utilities, construction, manufacturing, transportation and warehousing, information technology, finance and insurance, real estate, and professional scientific and technical services. As I said, I am all about helping clients and changing lives. Well, this is a little bit blurry. This is a list of the clients and the specific accomplishments each of them have had, from vice president all the way down to junior urban planner and chief executive officer. So I transitioned from being an engineer and a manager of projects to being an executive, motivating, leading, and managing people. Then I transitioned to becoming an executive coach, and in my coaching practice, I discovered that better people skills makes for a better work life. Over time, I consolidated all of this knowledge and research and information and insights into the Building Better People Skills coaching and training program. So let me tell you about it. The Building Better People Skills coaching program allows each client, each individual client, to progress step by step and the program provides a wide variety of features and benefits to each student that makes learning people skills more engaging, efficient, and effective. The Building Better People Skills coaching program is web-based. It's a web-based learning platform. Thus, the coursework, the course content is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and can be accessed through all types of IT medium, PCs, laptops, smartphones. Since the platform is cloud-based, there's no need to purchase any software, hardware, or any printed materials, although you are free to download anything from the program if it's of interest to you or to share it. So the program itself, the Building Better People Skills coaching program, is a coaching program and learning platform that works hand in hand. The Building Better People Skills coaching program, it's available on subscription basis. It can be quickly deployed either as a standalone course or integrated into an executive coaching program for clients focused on building better people skills and improving interpersonal effective in their work life. What that means is you have the opportunity to enroll in specifically an 8-week long executive coaching program and have the course as a learning companion, or you can enroll in just the course. Each is a standalone program. By combining my years of research and analysis with adaptive learning techniques, the Building Better People Skills coaching program is, as far as I know, the only program that enables a coaching client to readily observe each new area of mastery and to illuminate areas of concern for more specific growth and development. This is a very, very, very powerful tool and a very, very, very powerful combination of a learning module and a coaching module working hand in hand over a prescribed period of 8 weeks. It's a very intensive learning process. And why 8 weeks? There's a lot of information to master. But if it was more than 8 weeks, I think most clients lose interest. If it was less, they would feel overwhelmed. So over time, I have found that the ability to impart and consume the amount of information needed to understand the basis for and develop effective interpersonal skills, 8 weeks seems to be the magic number. Some of the big benefits from participating in this program. Well, to begin with, there are 5 goals to the program, and you can expect 5 specific outcomes as you learn how to, number 1, influence others to your way of thinking. Goal number 2, build immediate rapport with new people as you meet them. Goal number 3, handle difficult people more effectively with less stress. Goal number 4, deal confidently with conflict, confrontation, and disagreements. And goal number 5, pinpoint and eliminate negative interpersonal habits and tendencies that are holding you back professionally, that are preventing you from getting promoted. Going through this program, you will experience tremendous growth and insight as you begin to unlock your essential people skills. These are inherent in all of us. You have just not focused on them and practiced them over the years as others who are more successful, who are more effective at people skills have done. You will eliminate work-life stress, pain, and anxiety caused by ineffective interpersonal skills. You will learn techniques and you will become more influential as you learn how to increase your influence. This program will transform your career. This knowledge, this insight, these 3 steps will transform your career. They will help you attain professional confidence. You are already technically competent. What you need is the confidence in your professional ability to influence, connect, and work with a broader group of people. You will begin to embed new interpersonal behaviors towards stronger people skills. These skills will ensure your career is enjoyable, successful, and takes care of you and your family for years to come. You will also begin to experience less interpersonal stress and anxiety at work as you become a more effective people person. You will finally have the freedom to be creative and influence others towards better work outcomes. And your job and career will begin to give you the freedom you want, the financial freedom that you need, and you will be able to build the lifestyle that you know is possible, that you believed was possible at the beginning of your career. You will be able to do it without the stress, frustration, overwhelm, tension, or anxiety that you are now living with. And you will begin to understand how easy it is to develop and scale new behaviors and build interpersonal skills that can make your work life better and provide for you and your family. A couple of thoughts to keep in mind here as I introduce you to the 3-step program and the specifics within each steps. Everything in learning new skills and behaviors is about baby steps. Overthinking is not a requirement. Do not overthink here and get out of your own way. Let's begin by debunking a couple of myths. So get them right out of your head right away. To use this process, this program, this 3 steps to building better people skills program, number 1, the technology is not going to be hard. It is not going to be confusing. Number 2, yes, you can learn a new skill. No, you don't have to be born with people skills. Everybody can learn it. It's a skill. Number 3, no, I don't believe you need to get another degree just to learn this stuff. Number 4, nobody will see a difference in your skill or behavior. I disagree completely. You will hear it from the most unexpected of places when others begin to see the new, better, kinder, more influential, better people-skilled person emerge from behind your mask. It might be a myth for you to think that this is going to take too much time and it's going to be confusing. My estimation and in my experience, this takes about 6 to 8 hours per week of your time over an 8-week period to master all of this information and master these skills. If you're concerned that this course is not a perfect match for your unique problem, I can tell you that there is no perfect match. The course evolves around your wants, needs, desires, and expectations, and you highlight the areas where you understand that you need specific focus. And if it's a myth to think now is not the time to take this course on, to learn these new skills? Let me ask you this: when is the right time? And then there's the final question: I want to do this course, but I don't want it to be a virtual one. This training, coaching and training, it's just in time training. You don't have to step away from your job. You don't have to go away to a campus-based program. You're going to do this work approximately 1 hour per day, every day for a week over an 8-week period. It's more than sufficient to get you to the next and the next level of effective interpersonal skills. So let's get into the meat of the program now. There are 3 steps. It's simple. There are 3 steps that you have to go through to improve your interpersonal skills, to strengthen your skills, your people skills, and overcome work-life stress. There are 3 steps towards advancing your essential interpersonal skills for relating to, for understanding, for connecting with and engaging with, and for working better with all types of people, even the most difficult people in your work life. Bottom line, effective people skills matter. Effective people skills are very powerful. You already know this. Effective people skills can be learned. And yes, you can strengthen your personal skills and your people skills. So again, ask yourself honestly, not only are your people skills holding you back professionally, just how significantly are your poor people skills holding you back professionally? Effective people skills matter. Why? So here's the textbook answer. Because within our globalized economy, employees at all levels need to be more adept at people issues, including developing and understanding large-scale people-centric systems, and collaborating with and working across different generational cohorts, professional disciplines, geographic boundaries, and diverse cultures. Effective people skills are very, very powerful. They are more powerful than most people understand, simply because together they represent the various characteristics and competencies that allow us to play well with others, and the ability to play well with others is essential to a successful work life. While these characteristics and competencies may appear as fuzzy concepts such as likability or having a good personality, when we start to delve into what makes someone likable, for instance, we discover that often these attributes come in the form of effective, accurate, and persuasive interpersonal skills. And there is no doubt about it. Individuals with excellent interpersonal skills rise to the top in their career, in their organizations, and in their personal life. And you know this to be true because you see it in other people who are moving ahead professionally. And the distinction between you and them, or the difference between you and them, boils down to they have phenomenal interpersonal skills. You're already aware of the importance of effective interpersonal skills. Certainly because one of the reasons you show up for a webinar like this is you understand that they are important. And you've probably seen this phenomenon happen time and time again. Take 2 people in your organization, for example, with similar skills and knowledge, but one of them has enviable people skills, while the other's interpersonal skills, by contrast, are unexceptional. Which one gets ahead faster and goes further? And I know your mind's already going to that place where you can see who these 2 people are, and perhaps one of them is you. You know the answer to this question, no contest. You have seen it happen in your work life and with your own eyes. In fact, you may have wondered how some people have progressed further and faster than you yourself professionally, especially when you know you are smarter and far better qualified. Fear not, all is not lost. Effective people skills can be learned. Just like any other skill, it's a skill. Interpersonal skills can be learned. Seriously. Serious as a heart attack here. It's true. In fact, many senior professionals who appear to be born people persons and who seem comfortable and confident in any situation have taken training, and many times from me, to master the interpersonal skills they use to connect so powerfully with and to positively influence others. The experiences that you have endured that you attribute to ineffective interpersonal skills, thinking that ineffective interpersonal skills are the problem, or the pains that you've endured is the problem, these are symptoms of your problem. Your problem is not the problem. I think it was Captain Jack in Pirates of the Caribbean who used to say, your problem is not the problem. Your problem is not the problem. All of the emotions and feelings of being immensely frustrated, being isolated, feeling unconnected, lacking some specific insight, enduring poor interpersonal relationships, feeling angry, feeling annoyed, feeling confused, anxious, and underappreciated are merely symptoms of your problem. And your problem is not the problem. Your problem, of course, is how you choose to look at the problem. That's where the problem lies. So you have a choice in all of life's major decisions and all of life's major junctions. You have a choice. When you are confronted with pain and turmoil, you have a choice about what changes you are willing to make and what pain you are willing to endure. Once you embrace these 3 steps towards building better people skills, your symptoms will begin to disappear. All those negative emotions and feelings of being frustrated, feeling unconnected, lacking insight, feeling angry and annoyed, feeling confused, anxious, and underappreciated, they will begin to dissolve. So, how does this program work? What are these 3 steps? Well, remember I told you that the program has 3 goals, and you can expect, or rather 5 goals, and you can expect 5 specific outcomes as you go through this process, as you go through this program. You will learn how to influence others to your way of thinking, how to build rapport with new people, how to handle difficult people more effectively with less stress, how to deal confidently with conflict, confrontation, and disagreements, and how to pinpoint and eliminate negative interpersonal habits and tendencies that hold you back. And here is the 3-step program. You get your bearings, you upskill, and you embed, bridging the gap from where you were to where you want to be, either bringing yourself up to par with where you need to be professionally or building new skills to be prepared for the next assignment you're going to undertake. You get your bearings, you upskill, and you embed. So, what exactly does that mean in these 3 steps? Step number 1 is getting your bearings to know where you are now. Where are you today? What is the inventory of skills you have and the gaps that you're currently enduring? The second step is to upskill, identify limiting beliefs and behaviors, and upskill to move beyond them. And the third step is to embed the new behaviors as part of your new muscle memory. During the third phase, you'll begin to embed these behaviors through reflection and repetition until they become part of your muscle memory. So that's it in a nutshell. You get your bearings, you upskill, and you embed. You get your bearings to know where you are now. You identify limiting beliefs and behaviors and upskill to move beyond them. And you commit to embedding these new behaviors so they become part of your muscle memory. It sounds very easy now that I've explained it to you. It does take committed, progressive, and sequential work on your part. But learning a new skill is absolutely doable. So, goal number 1, how does that work for you? Well, if you want to influence others to your way of thinking, you're going to learn how to influence others to gain enthusiasm for your ideas, buy-in for your technical expertise, for your plans, and to support you when you need their support. And you're going to do this using a concise method of persuasion built into the 3-step program. Goal number 2 is to build immediate rapport with new people. You're going to learn how to connect with new colleagues, clients, and contacts quickly, establishing rapport, sure to result in solid, long-lasting, significant professional relationships. Goal number 3, which is to handle difficult people more effectively with less stress, throughout the process, throughout the program, throughout the 3 steps, you are going to learn how to counteract typical tactics difficult people use and gain insight into why difficult people behave the way they do and what you can do to counteract it. Goal number 4 is to deal confidently with conflict, confrontation, and disagreements. You will learn how to prevent conflict before it happens by confronting others professionally, calmly, and tactfully over root cause disagreements and differences that you may have. And goal number 5, which is to pinpoint and eliminate negative interpersonal habits and tendencies that are holding you back, where you will learn to continue to strengthen your people skills long after this virtual program is over by recognizing and eliminating self-sabotaging interpersonal habits and behaviors as they present themselves. So, still dubious about the Building the Better People Skills program and that you don't think this is for you? Ask yourself honestly, are your people skills holding you back professionally? If you've read this far and you've listened this far about the ways and techniques to strengthen your interpersonal effectiveness, then there's a strong chance that you know all too well that the answer to this question is yes. You already have a sense that your interpersonal skills need a touch-up and that you are searching for answers. So stop searching, as the help you need is here in this tutorial. So make the commitment now, suspend your judgment, make the commitment right now and fully engage in this virtual training program and enjoy the proven tools and techniques you need and can use to make immediate dramatic improvements in the way you work with others. Don't wait any longer to achieve career success and the personal success you deserve. Investing in yourself today and pursuing the rest of this webinar with an open mind will help build the future that you and your family can begin to enjoy together without stress or overwhelm. And if I haven't convinced you enough already to have an open mind about this continued learning experience, I have a final question for you. How much is it costing you to stay where you are and do nothing when you know you must work another 10, 20, or 30 years? How much is it costing you? Emotionally, spiritually, financially, health-wise? How much is it costing you to do nothing, to endure the life you're enduring right now? So, strengthen your people skills and overcome work-life stress. This is a Bridging the Gap signature webinar program. It's delivered and experienced via approximately 60 hours of on-demand webinar content, program-directed reading and reflection, program-directed observation and journaling. It is an intense amount of work poured into an 8-week program. This program, this course module, this 3-step process, it is designed for the client who prefers one-on-one executive coaching, and then the course content is provided to augment that coaching, or for the budget-conscious professional who is comfortable with pursuing a step-by-step behavior modification process without the need for an accountability partner, which in essence is what I do as an executive coach. This Bridging the Gap program, it's a signature program. It's built around, as I said, a tried and tested 3-step coaching methodology. Step 1, get your bearings. Step 2, identify limiting beliefs and upskill. And then step 3, embed the new behaviors as part of your muscle memory. Listen, you have to invest in a skill building program because you have only one of 2 options towards resolving the pain, anxiety, and stress-filled work life caused by poor people skills. Option number 1 is you can figure this out on your own. You can figure out all by yourself how to become a better people person. And you will waste a fortune in time and money and well-being, all the while enduring the stress and anxiety-filled work life that you're currently enduring. Or you can fast track your learning and get help from somebody who's paid the price before you. So let's begin. This is one of my favorite cartoons. So 3 cavemen, let me blow it up here in size. 3 cavemen, 2 cavemen to the right pulling a box of rocks on square wheels. Third caveman offers them a new invention, brand shiny spanking new, 2 wheels with holes in the middle, 2 round objects with holes in the middle, which we know today are very effective for moving heavy objects. And the response from the 2 rock draggers are, no thanks, we're too busy. Don't be too busy to take on board this new information I'm sharing with you. You're about to begin a journey that will help you to upscale and build upon new behaviors and become more influential in your relationships with peers and colleagues. And while it is a slow process, quitting this webinar at this point is not going to speed up your journey towards building better people skills. So hang in there and let's get started. The simple 3-step system to unlock your essential people skills and to eliminate work-life stress, to increase your influence and transform your career, and attain professional confidence and personal success through building better people skills. What you're about to discover is the system to help you recognize and eliminate self-defeating behaviors which are holding you hostage and sabotaging your professional life. The 3 steps system to unlock your essential people skills, including how to stop being considered aloof and unfriendly, to stop getting ignored for promotion, to influence others to your way of thinking, to build immediate rapport with new people, to handle difficult people more effectively with less stress, to deal confidently with conflict, confrontation, and disagreements, and to pinpoint and eliminate habits and tendencies that are holding you back. Again, let me ask you, is your work life giving you everything that you want? Do you feel that there is an invisible barrier in your professional life, such as a brick wall between how you behave and how you want to behave? Do you feel you are losing time, creativity, energy, even money and health instead of increasing your influence, joy, and career success? Do you feel that the harder you work at improving your people skills, the more frustrated you become? Do you feel the more silly gimmicks and other stuff that you try, the worse it gets and the worse you seem to be perceived by your colleagues? Do you feel frustrated because others are more successful than you, even though you work harder? Do you feel frustrated because others are more influential than you, even though you are smarter? As I mentioned before, these are symptoms of your problem. Your problem is not the problem. Your real problem is that you're feeling overwhelmed by your underdeveloped people skills. And again, let me tell you, once you embrace this three-step system, your symptoms will begin to disappear. Step by step. This is critical that you understand this. This is a sequential and progressive process. So step by step, you will begin to remove your limiting beliefs about unleashing your innate interpersonal skills. The three-step process involves evaluating where you are versus where you want to be, making the changes and embedding the changes. So what is the secret? What is the secret to the three steps to building better people skills? Because isn't everything sold with a secret sauce? The secret is that none of the things I've told you or that I'm going to tell you are secrets. You probably already know what they are. However, you have just not done them in a conscious, progressive, and sequential manner. The secret is that none of these things are secrets. This system, this three steps towards better people skills, it's a bridging the gap system. It serves to hold you accountable over an 8-week period as you address these three things. It's get your bearings, upskill, embed. It's a signature coaching program and a signature training program combined. Getting your bearings to know where you are now, identifying limiting beliefs, and embedding new behaviors as part of your muscle memory. So what is involved in getting your bearings? There are several steps, there are several exercises, there are several coaching conversations that take place. Exploring false thinking and limiting beliefs, understanding your up until now story, capturing specific pain points, recognizing the symptoms of your pain, naming the impact of limiting behaviors, and describing your brick wall in detail. So why go through that type of self-evaluation, self-reflection process? Well, prescription for improvement without a diagnosis of existing conditions is a fallacy in any endeavor. False thinking and limiting beliefs are behind most anxiety, and poor people skills are behind most failed workplace relationships. I've got to tell you, your up until now story is not an excuse, but it's critically important as a launching point as you move forward to building the better version of you. Being aware of your pain points teaches us about how to make changes in our life, and being able to describe your brick wall in detail is necessary so you can then begin to dismantle it. And as a bright engineer, scientist, IT professional, or problem solver, you already know that 80% of the solution to any problem occurs when you can define the problem. Step number 2 is identify limiting beliefs and behaviors and upskill to move beyond them, moving from can't to can. You can do this. You will learn how to prioritize the list of issues uncovered during the discovery process, to identify a preferred reality or model behavior to copy and emulate. You will identify hurdles that are standing in your way from moving forward and how to overcome those hurdles, and you will learn how to practice your upskill in small steps. You're going to learn what the big ticket items are, where you can focus to get maximum return of your time. You're going to learn that when you identify hurdles, you can begin to eliminate them. You're going to learn that when you upskill in small steps, you are building a new foundation for effective interpersonal behaviors. In the third step, where you're embedding new behaviors as part of your muscle memory, you will learn how to examine and reflect upon your successes and failures, how to consciously practice new skills and techniques, how to be mindful of changes in your interpersonal skills, how to be mindful of sources of stress and anxiety, and how to applaud effective interpersonal skills in others with the intent of reinforcing those behaviors in yourself. And why? Because reflection leads to self-awareness and awareness of others. Repetition builds muscle memory. Applauding effective interpersonal skills in others creates growth in yourself, and you learn how to stare down your own limiting beliefs. So I told you at the beginning that what you would learn by checking in today is a very specific, proven 3-step process to build better people skills and remove pain, stress, and anxiety from your work life. The secret to being likable and achieving instant rapport building, and the step-by-step exercises you can quickly use to capture new tips and information and embed them in your skill set. The program is very intensive. It's delivered over an 8-week period. It has approximately 19 hours of video. It offers 47 specific focused articles relative to improving your interpersonal skills, requiring approximately 15 hours of reading, and there are 64 webinar reflection exercises. All told, this takes 6 to 8 hours per week over an 8-week period to consume all of this information, reflect upon it, regurgitate it, and start delivering better interpersonal skills and improved people skills. So I've told you what step 1 is. It occurs during weeks 1 and 2 of your committed 8-week program. What's in step 1? Now we're into the meat of it, and I'm going to share some of these webinars with you over the next 40 minutes or so. Step 1 involves 23 different webinars and 11 video presentations and reading 20 articles. Sounds like a lot of work. It can be accomplished in approximately 1 hour per day over weeks 1 and 2. And if you're in the combined coaching program with me, we will also have 2 one-on-one 1-hour coaching sessions during weeks 1 and 2. The 23 webinars in step 1, the 23 areas that you will focus your attention on, including the reading of the articles and watching of the videos and reviewing the webinars, address all of the up until now stuff, capturing your up until now story, understanding that story, learning about self-reflection and self-awareness, learning about observation and catching yourself in the act, learning about observation of others and catching them in the act of both good and bad behaviors, learning how to journal, an integral part of the reflection process, exploring false thinking, capturing specific pain points, recognizing the symptoms of your pain, reflecting on the impact of limiting beliefs and behaviors, describing your brick wall in detail, increasing interpersonal success through self-awareness of others, the 8 steps to improve your social awareness and achieve interpersonal success through awareness of others, improving your focus to improve your work life, learning how to be happy at work, learning how to completely change your work life in 30 seconds, learning mindfulness as a means to self-awareness, learning about the 5 bad habits that are destroying your career, learning about how to change the quality of your work life without changing your job, learning how to be a bad boss and a horrible leader so that you'll know how not to be that guy in the workplace, learning how high performance cultures don't happen by accident, learning about the parable of pig wrestling, again, very important, learning about leadership preparedness, and learning about the list of drawbacks to your limiting interpersonal behaviors so that you're more incentivized to overcome those limiting behaviors. That was all step one, and that was in 2 weeks. You will learn that information over a 2 week period. During step two, which takes place during weeks 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, you're identifying your limiting beliefs and behaviors, and you're beginning your upskill process. What's involved in step two? Prioritizing your pain points so you can pick out the big ticket items, identifying the hurdles that are standing in your way towards changing your behavior, identifying preferred models of reality so that you can copy those behaviors in other people, practicing upskill in small steps, learning about the 5 secrets that keep of great people skills as shared by an executive coach, learning about rapport building and establishing solid working relationships up and down the ladder, learning how to persuade and influence others to your way of thinking, learning about how to work with difficult people and handling tough situations, learning how to work through workplace conflict with tact and finesse, learning about effective listening towards better people skills, learning about what truly makes for a good life, learning 3 tips to develop more positive workplace relationships, learning about the 3 ways you can identify and overcome unconscious bias, exploring the impact of microaggressions, exploring the impact of culture in the workplace, building trusting relationships in the workplace, learning how great managers eradicate workplace incivility, learning about personal consistency and how it strengthens your people skills, learning how a positive outlook can help you deal with and overcome stress, learning about the power of acknowledgement, how to applaud civil behavior in your workplace and why you must and should do it, learning about the power of having patience and how to develop patience, learning how to build connections within your network, learning how to understand your organization's white space and why it's significant, learning about communication and speaking for effect, learning how successful leaders, managers, and influencers overcome workplace incivility, learning how successful managers overcome and manage sabotage and other deviant workplace behaviors, learning about influential intelligence, which is kind of like IQ and EQ, learning how influencing skills can be learned, learning how to make behavior changes, and learning about the power of a mentor and how to build social capital, and also learning about the power of body language and developing body language for effect and influence. That is step two of the 3-step process. Very, very powerful vignettes and pieces of information to consume as you lean forward in building your better people skills. Step three, you're committing to embedding your behaviors so that they become your new behaviors so that they become part of your muscle memory. You're going to learn how to jettison your past and revisit your up until now story. You're going to learn how to examine and reflect upon your previous successes and failures. You're going to learn how to consciously practice new skills and how to be mindful of changes in your interpersonal skill set. You're going to learn how to identify, acknowledge, and build your own inner coach. You're going to learn how to contemplate and be aware of how others see you and how they are responding to the new and improved version of you. You're going to learn the how and why of applauding effective interpersonal skills in other people. And you're going to learn to say goodbye to the top 10 limiting interpersonal behaviors you have committed to improving. You're also going to learn how to draw your new future, to develop a pictorial graphic of what your life looks like in the future now that you have committed to developing better people skills. You'll conclude with revisiting the program's goals, and then finally, a letter of encouragement. I will show you how to invest in yourself for infinity by engaging a mentor for the rest of your professional life, how to develop a professional relationship, mentoring relationship with somebody in your work life who can add value to your professional growth. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. It truly is. There's 66 webinars. As I told you, it's approximately 1 hour a day, every day for 8 weeks, getting your bearings, upskilling, and embedding all of this new information, these new techniques, these new habits, replacing old habits, kicking them out, and becoming a phenomenal people person. Get your bearings, identify limiting beliefs, embed your new behaviors. 3-step process, but multiple sub-steps. But it's still a 3-step process. So now I'm going to share with you 4 particular webinars from among the 66 webinars in the series. These are 4 sample webinars. 5 habits that can destroy your career and 5 habits that can make it better. How to be a bad leader and a horrible boss. The 5 secrets about great people skills as shared by an executive coach. And 3 ways you can identify and overcome your unconscious bias towards improving your interpersonal skills. So this is some pretty exciting stuff here. So probably another 40 minutes of content. Hang in there. These 4 webinars are the meat of this free webinar training program. Welcome to webinar number 17, 5 habits that can destroy your career and 5 habits that can make it better for you. What you got to do here, read the article, A number 17, 5 Bad Habits, same title as the webinar, and then watch the video. It's a TED Talk, video number 17 by speaker Sean Acker, titled The Happy Secret to Better Work. Again, happiness. Happiness, happiness, happiness seems to be everywhere throughout this step 1 process. So the article is titled 5 Habits That Can Destroy Your Career and 5 Habits That Can Make It Better. What is a habit? A habit or a want, it's a routine of behavior that is repeated regularly and tends to occur subconsciously. A habit is a behavior that tends to occur subconsciously. Why do we care? Well, for many who exercise poor people skills as a matter of habit, they do so through no fault of their own. In a world where the demand is for ever-increasing technical specialization, there is often an undercommitment to the development of effective interpersonal skills. In fact, we spend more and more of our intellectual capital focusing on narrower and narrower technical skills, which leaves very little time or incentive to explore the softer skills, including developing effective interpersonal skills. So here's what I have learned coaching, and I coach across the domain of the STEM community, scientists, technical people, mathematicians, engineers, IT professionals, and other high-functioning, high-performing, intellectually gifted individuals.
you have become a victim of your own intellectual brilliance. And this began in high school. As a result of your superior academic abilities, you concentrated more and more on hard technical subjects, often at the expense of softer subjects, soft skills subjects. Then you went on to college and you took on an even more demanding role, a more demanding course load of core technical subjects, again pushing out the soft skills subjects, the social sciences, the interpersonal skills. And even in graduate school, postgraduate, professional development courses, again, more and more technical stuff. And you were surrounded by more and more people who behaved like you, talked like you, looked like you, acted like you. Because these courses, these programs, they are almost self-selecting. They will eliminate those people who don't have the intellectual ability to be in those programs. So more and more people like you, behaving more and more like you, not having learned the interpersonal skills to succeed effectively in the workplace. And suddenly there you all are, really smart, really technically well qualified, and don't have a clue about effective interpersonal skills. Hence, I have created this program because I have found that the number one behavior that is holding my brilliant scientists and engineers and IT professionals back from more influential positions in their organization is that they have not mastered, you have not mastered your effective interpersonal skills. Through no fault of your own, because you over-specialized earlier on in your career. So there are 5 bad habits that can destroy your career, and I see these habits over and over again among my STEM professionals in my coaching clients. The number one worstest, baddest habit there is evading and avoiding self-awareness. So we've probably talked about self-awareness here 6 times at least already, but it is the number one bad habit for the career-ending behavior. If you wanted to purposely end your career, was to avoid and evade self-awareness. The second bad habit is to avoid and evade awareness of others. The third habit is to exhibit poor interpersonal communication. No mindfulness, no active listening, no expressing empathy as other people are speaking to you, exhibiting poor interpersonal communication. The fourth bad habit is disregarding the importance of understanding group dynamics. Can't stress this one enough. Choosing not to pick up on the interplay, the sinuous relationships, the group dynamics of your organization is a habit that can destroy your career. And number 5, disregarding the distinctions among people across different generational cohorts, professional disciplines, and cultures can be a career-ending habit if you choose to be blind to the distinctions across your organization. All is not lost, however. It's not all doom and gloom here. As you saw in the article, there are 5 habits that can help improve your people skills. This is the primer for this whole Better People Skills program. There really are 5 habits that you could walk away with today, and if you practice them consciously, you would become an awesome people person. Number 1 habit that you could choose, the number 1 behavior that you can choose to start doing today, add this to your to-do list, is to identify someone you work with who has great interpersonal skills and emulate their behavior. Well, how straightforward is that? So most executives and busy technical specialists don't have the luxury of stepping aside and attending a campus-based interpersonal skills development program. So here you are, you've actually signed up for this program. and you're doing 6 to 8 to 10 hours a week over an 8-week period of your own time to help improve your interpersonal skills. Most high-achieving individuals can only commit to a personal development solution that is 100% applicable to your immediate work life. And coaching is one way of offering just-in-time solutions in your work life. And these suggestions are just-in-time solutions to you improving your interpersonal skills. So number one being, identify someone you work with today. Now think about this for a moment. Somebody you work with, whether they're a peer or a colleague or a leader or an influencer in another organization, somebody you work with, somebody you know, somebody you've had the opportunity to observe who has great interpersonal skills. You admire them for their interpersonal skills. Maybe you don't agree with their political perspective. Maybe you don't agree with their technical perspective. Maybe you don't agree. Maybe they don't have the acquired technical discipline that you have. Maybe they haven't been to a university or college that's as prestigious as yours. Maybe there's something about them that doesn't match everything that you want from them, but they have great interpersonal skills. Study their behaviors and emulate their behaviors. If they greet everybody first thing in the morning and you can see how effective that is, copy that behavior. Make it as simple every day. If you observe them doing one good thing towards being an effective interpersonal person, copy that behavior, emulate that behavior. The second thing that you can do is to catch yourself in the act of being personable. Catch yourself in the act of being personable. So in addition to all of the other journaling I'm asking you to do here, journal about catching yourself in the act of being personable. And journal about how it made you feel when you had this awareness of being personable with somebody else. Journal about how it made you feel and also about how others reacted or behaved in response to how this behavior went down. Even include third-party observations, people who were not the recipient of your positive gesture. Reflect upon how they behaved. This habit of catching yourself being personable and reflecting on it reinforces your ability to be more personable. The third habit or behavior that you can exercise to improve your social skills is to identify someone you work with who has really awful people skills. You know the guy, the don't be an ass guy. And reflect upon the impact of their behavior on the person they are interacting with, as well as on other third-party observers who are not the recipient of their behavior. Just as you reflected and journaled about your own positive interpersonal behavior and how it made you feel, reflect and journal about the behavior of somebody who has really bad people skills and pick a couple of incidences in the day or in the week where they were acting really badly and how that made you feel, how you observed the people they were behaving badly towards felt and behaved, and how you observed or at least reflected on the impact of that person's behavior on people in the larger group. This exercise of reflecting on behaviors serves to reinforce your ability to identify and embrace good behaviors and identify and deflect bad behaviors. The fourth habit that you can take on to improve your people skills is to catch your own self in the act of really awful people skills. And of course, to journal about how others reacted or behaved in response and how it made you feel. Now, I'm not suggesting that you purposely act bad so you can journal about it. But if you're in this program, and I've been coaching you for some while, we both know that you have the ability to be a jerk, or you have failed to be the higher version of yourself, and you have exercised really awful people skills. So your goal for this week is to catch yourself being really horrible, to catch yourself practicing or being in the act of behaving really awful towards somebody else by whatever standard or measure you consider to be really awful. And then I want you to journal about how the others reacted. Did they flinch? Did they pull back from you? What was the physical manifestation that they presented in response to you practicing really awful people skills? And I wonder if you've ever been aware before, or was it pointed out to you that how people recoil or behave as a result of your poor interpersonal behaviors? But more importantly, I want you to reflect on how their reaction and their response made you feel in the moment of your behavior and subsequently as you are now reflecting on it. One subsequent response could be that you now feel embarrassed for your behavior where you didn't before. You are now dismayed at yourself where you weren't before. It's important that you're able to see that you have become aware of the impact that you have on other people when you are in the throes of your ineffective personal behaviors or your really awful people skills. This adds greatly to your increased self-awareness and also simultaneously to your awareness of others. Habit number 5 that you can start to practice towards improving your people skills is to identify one single positive interpersonal behavior, such as saying hello, saying thank you, asking somebody how is your day, and purposely and mindfully employ it 100 times every day for a week. I kid you not, 100 times every day for a week. Then reflect upon how others begin to react differently to you. This is an amazing technique towards improving others' perception of your effective interpersonal behavior. Pick one, whether it's saying hello, making eye contact, saying thank you, asking people how is their day. If asking somebody how is your day does not roll sweetly off your tongue, practice it. You have 100 opportunities every day for a week to ask somebody how is your day. Your goal here is not just to perform the technical exercise of asking the question 100 times a day, but also to reflect upon the change in behavior that other people present to you as a result of you practicing this interpersonal skill. So your goal here is to reflect upon how others begin to react to you as a result of you practicing this one skill. So this exercise is in addition to all of the other journaling I'm asking you to do here. This is very specific. It's very technical. Take one behavior, one positive interpersonal behavior, and practice it 100 times a day for a week, and reflect and capture other people's changing reactions to you as a result of this one behavior.
That was webinar number 17. It's always followed, each webinar is always followed by a webinar reflection exercise, very specific to each webinar. You have 66 opportunities to reflect on the content of the course. The next webinar I wanted you to look at very quickly. I'll only play a little bit of it here for effective use of your time. It's how to be a bad leader and a horrible boss.
Welcome to webinar number 19. Now this piece is fun. I wrote this article some time ago in an attempt to illustrate how bad being a horrible boss is, but it provided great insight how to be actually a pretty good boss. And so these behaviors, these bad behaviors are consistent across every role in the organization, whether you're a leader, a manager, an influencer, or a high-performing, high-achieving individual, or you're new to the organization. Consider the article as being tongue-in-cheek and see it for the humor that is intended. The webinar is titled How to Be a Bad Leader and a Horrible Boss. Your goal here is to explore another perspective about how bad behavior can disrupt your work life, how poor interpersonal skills can disrupt your work life. But remember that this is tongue-in-cheek, it's a parable, and it's about how not to be that guy, the don't be an ass guy, that everybody remembers as the worst boss or colleague ever. So when I have coaching clients that have a really bad boss, I remind them that it's just a phase. They can't change their boss's behavior, and their boss, more than anything else, will serve as a very influential how not to be that guy in the future. They will always remember what it felt like working for that guy, and almost with certainty, they will never allow themselves to behave the way that guy behaved. So read the article, How to Be a Bad Boss, How to Be a Bad Leader or a Horrible Boss. I think the thought here is that there is a pressure, we all experience a pressure to
moving on a little bit,
knowledge that they possess huge gaps in their skill set.
Moving on another little bit.
Effective influence across an organization and
moving on another little bit.
Waste your energy worrying about and publicly criticize them in any and a budget, team, or even in yourself. You have begun your own.
So that's the nature of that webinar number 19.
Success as you implement these changes.
The next webinar we'll look at real quickly is the 5 secrets of great people skills as shared by an executive coach.
Welcome to I Want You. And then, of course, number 5 is to identify performing global clients. Behavior results in a bottom-up thing or about some event. As a result, on others' poor behavior, or humiliated somebody. Which is what you're about.
So that's the nature of this webinar.
One technique.
And the 4th webinar I wanted to share with you is 3 ways to identify and overcome your bias. This webinar begins with a very short video titled Who Gets the Job?
Welcome to webinar number 36. This is a fairly meaty webinar, and it's exploring the concept of unconscious bias. The title of the webinar is The 3 Ways You Can Identify and Overcome Your Unconscious Bias. There are 2 content pieces off to the side I want you to review in advance of proceeding with the rest of this webinar. So put it on pause here and go ahead and certainly read the article. And the video in this instance is a very quick video, and I've embedded it here in the webinar also. So the title of the short webinar, the title of the short video is Who's Going to Get the Job? And this is inherently an explanation for unconscious bias. Young man shows up for an interview looking nervous, watching his competition.
Shake Extreme 3. 3 flexible blades that uniquely adapt to any contour for extreme comfort for every possible angle. Shake Extreme 3. Free your skin.
So who do you think got the job? This is the essence of unconscious bias. We are predisposed to considering people who look like us more appropriate for us to engage with simply because they look like us than our own culturally.
So the rest of the video,
tall, svelte, handsome.
the rest of the video addresses unconscious bias and how to overcome it and what is the source of it and how it influences your behavior and how it can undermine your desire to have effective interpersonal behaviors. As with all of the other webinars in this program, each one is designed to address specific learning intentions to help you understand what's standing in your way from effective interpersonal skills. Let's see, the next, okay, so that's what the program is about. We're 90 minutes into this free webinar here today. I promise not to take up more than 90 minutes of your time. So let me shoot through the rest of this. What I promised you for hanging out here today and learning about the 3 steps and learning about the program and the sub-elements within the steps, I promised you 3 things. I'm going to give you a copy of today's slides by email. I am going to give you, so send me your email address or send me an email, and I will, it's info@mcgconsultinggroup.com. Let me put that in here so you can get a copy of the slides. Let me write that in here, info@mcgconsultinggroup.com. Put it up here at the top. Info, why is that like that? Here we go, info at mcgconsultinggroup.com. Send me an email. You can get a copy of the slides if I don't have your email address from some other source. Also, I will send you the presentation on all aspects of the 3 proven steps, the program in and of itself. And the third gift I've committed to giving you today is a one-time invitation to a free 90-minute strategy session. I am serious as a heart attack about helping people improve their interpersonal skills. So in addition to this free webinar, I'm also offering a free 90-minute strategy session. That is correct, a free 90-minute strategy session. Sign up for free, sign up and get the free 90-minute strategy session at www.mcgconsultinggroup.com/apply. At the end of this webinar, you'll also see a thread that will take you to this website so that you can apply. Applying involves filling out a short WooFoo form with a little bit more information, and then I'll be able to send you gifts 1, 2, and you will immediately go into a registration page to pick a time that suits you for a free 90-minute strategy session. Spaces are limited, so apply now. But why should you sign up for a free strategy session? Listen, You've come this far, you're 99 minutes into the program. You have two options to resolve the pain, the anxiety, and the stress filled work life caused by poor people skills. You can figure out all by yourself how to become a better people person, such as sitting through free webinars like this and reading lots of books and articles and doing all the research that I've done. And you can waste a fortune in time and money, all the while enduring a stress and anxiety filled work life. Or your second choice is to fast track your learning and get help from somebody who's paid the price before you and can show you the way forward. I can do that in a strategy session. Listen, I use this illustration of a cockpit to illustrate what a training program and a strategy session and a coaching relationship can do for you. So let me frame the situation. The picture reflects the cockpit of a large plane. You are the pilot of this complex machine. This is your life. The dashboard is alit with knobs and switches and levers. If you don't know in which sequence and with which frequency to pull and push the knobs, switches, and levers, your plane will never leave the runway. Well, coaching is the same. A coach sits beside you. An executive coach sits beside you. A trainer sits beside you like a co-pilot as you work through the steps and processes to improve your skills and pull forward off the runway of your life. What the Building Better People Skills coaching program gives you is leverage, accountability, access, focus, and measurable outcomes. You've had a taste of my style, you've had a taste of my demeanor. If you want to know a little bit more, sign up for the free 90-minute strategy session. No commitment, no anything. It's a free process. Just remember these things. Environment always wins. Environment always wins. And if you place yourself within the environment that is committed to helping you overcome limiting interpersonal behaviors, you will certainly develop better people skills. If you place yourself within an environment that is committed to helping you overcome limiting interpersonal behaviors, you will certainly develop better interpersonal skills. You have a choice. That is correct. You have a choice. As with all major life decisions, when you are confronted with pain and turmoil, you have a choice about what changes you are willing to make and how much pain you are willing to endure. So, how can I help you? Well, through this free 90-minute strategy session, I have set aside time to speak to you personally and to talk about how to apply this three-step system directly to your work life and to your professional relationships to become a better people person today. I have set aside time to talk to you. The cost is free. This free strategy session is for you only if you are committed to overcoming poor people skills. You want to eliminate stress and anxiety from your work life. You want to be more influential and have your colleagues seek you out instead of avoiding you. And you are serious about doing it right away. And you are willing to invest in yourself and in your career and in your family. This free strategy session is for you if you are willing to invest in yourself and your career and your family. Why am I doing this? Why am I so passionate about this topic of improving ineffective people skills? I have been there and I understand your pain. And I know there is a path forward that will make your work life better. I know what the path forward is. So, on this free 90-minute strategy call, what is it you are going to receive? If you have already invested 90 minutes in the free webinar, what are you going to receive in the 90-minute free strategy call? You, through the course of our conversation, are going to get complete clarity on what you need to do and to stop doing in order to build better people skills. That is correct. you are going to get clarity on what it is you need to do. Then, and only then, if you want me to help you, there's no sales pressure, but if you want me to help you, and I think we are a good fit, because the coaching relationship is all about fit, I will invite you to become one of my exclusive coaching clients. And if we work together, if I think we're a good fit and we choose to work together, you will be put through the same 8-week executive coaching program that Jim, Jane, and my other successful clients have gone through when they've asked for assistance in developing effective interpersonal skills. The coaching program, the Build Better People Skills executive coaching program, is designed to get you building interpersonal capacity and eliminating relationship-based stress and anxiety fast in your work life. In about 6 to 8 hours per week, that works out to be about 1 hour per day of focused effort on your part over an 8-week period to achieve maximum leverage. If we work together, I fully expect you will be getting results fast. And the final question, I'll ask you this question again. How much is it costing you to stay where you are when you know you must work another 10, 20, or 30 years? Sign up for my free gift, the 90-minute executive strategy session. Sign up at mcgconsultinggroup.com/apply. This is Dr. Tina. It has been my absolute pleasure to share this information with you today on the 3 steps you need to undergo to improve your interpersonal skills and become a superb people person. Dr. Tina signing out.